Hello and welcome to the Prismatic Congress, a broadcast by the Prismatic Imperium based in Curio, an active player group that makes up part of the Ashling Deval community and specializes in roleplay. I am Mistler, Lord Warden for the Branch of Vigor, and it is Monday this time. We are doing this one day later than usual, the 18th of May at shortly before 2100 hours in game time. In terms of elite news, we've been off for a couple of weeks because there wasn't so much going on. But right now we're in the middle of the second beta for fleet carriers. The second beta started on May 11th and will run until May 26th. So you have more than a week from now on to still log into the beta and experience fleet carriers for yourself. And for this beta we have announced, I'm not totally aware if it's already live or if it's going to be live a bit later. There will be a fleet carrier blowout where you can get the things for super cheap. So even if you do not have the 5 billion, you can get them for what was, I think, 100 million. I don't have the source for that open right now. The links to the patch notes will, of course, be in the description, but among those changes in the second beta are the things that we had in the last Congress. So most notably, reduced upkeep costs. They have been reduced by 80 to 90%, which is an immense reduction. Core running costs have been reduced by 50%. The decommissioning system has been changed. You can have it in that much longer, and when it is auto decommissioned, you will now receive the full refund instead of losing a lot of money if you have it for longer than 3 months, for example, which was a problem before. Voluntary decommissioning will incur a slight fee, but that should also fix the original problems. In addition to that, universal cartographics are available on the fleet carriers, so you can sell exploration data, albeit at a small loss. The tritium consumption has been reduced by about half for jumps at max range especially, and there was an important change to the way the shipyard and the outfitting services work. So you can now always store your own ships and modules on the fleet carrier, even if you do not have the shipyard and outfitting services bought. These instead are only necessary if you want to provide these services as well as sell ships and modules to other commanders. So all in all, a lot of changes that were done in reaction to player feedback, and that can now be tested on the second beta. If you want to experience these changes for yourself and you want to look at the full patch notes, including other things that were in the latest patch in terms of bug fixes, etc., then make sure to check out the patch notes. I will put the link in the description. And with this, we will move on to branch news. There hasn't been too much for the Branch of Vigor. It's the usual. Check out our objectives. And to not put that into a separate section, let's move straight ahead to the Branch of Sight with Lord Headmaster Tekron.
Good day. It's me, your favorite Lord Headmaster, with a terrible headache, but also great news. So, over the last couple of weeks, I took part at more stops from the True Vagar Lore tour, and we've had quite a nice visits before. We were in Arcana. We've also learned something about the history of the Dark Wheel, something about Galcorp, early history of Federation as well. Next week there's going to be Fargoids, and then the Alliance comes in. I have to say it's a pretty nice format to got there together. And last week he even was in my wing. So we had a chance of protecting him ourselves. Another thing, I'm still working on the site news articles. 29 are finished so far, and I hope my brain doesn't burn out before I get to the others. So far I can promise you a lot of interesting stories and funny ones as well. And funny that you've mentioned the Freed carriers before, because I'm currently sitting on mine, doing a mini exploration tour outside of the bubble. My current destination is not too far away from Canis Majoris, which will be my main target. And yes, just yesterday one of our latest site recruits got introduced into the branch of site. It didn't happen yet in roleplay, but it sure will over the next days. I'm looking forward to interacting with him. And also, I really love the roleplay that's going around since a few weeks. Ellen Quatermain does a perfect job. I guess that's also something to mention for the branch of mind. Sorry for taking that section away, Kevin. But don't worry, it's your time now.
Hey, the Mario. Oops, sorry, wrong game.
What?
Hello, it is I, the Lord Harold, and yeah, it's been an exciting couple of weeks for the Branch of Mind. A lot of role play going on, and that's been really fun read. So, thank you to everybody who has been participating in that. Branch of Mind has some good news. Um, First of all, I've got some new commissions that are up from Daniel Jorel, so he's now writing some commissions, which has been really exciting because he brings in something new. Um, Definitely new perspectives on some of the commission stories that are going on. I'm also working on some new commanding officers in the background, and I went ahead and uploaded my first orange commanding officer, so you can go check out what that would look like. Orange is really the same as red. It just means that you won't have access to bringing them into your own army builds, at least not from the beginning. So that'll be interesting to see how many of those I can create, but they'll essentially represent not necessarily villains, but opposition. So I'll be adding a lot more of those in the coming months. So keep an eye out on those. I'm also adding new uh, mission items. So you can go look at the mission items and you'll see that I have them all visible now, even if I don't have art for them. And I have been adding the artwork to them. So uh, if you have any ideas of anything that I'm missing, feel free to message me and I will add those on. I've also been adding new diamond market equipment, so if you just keep a sharp eye on the market, things are appearing, and I don't necessarily announce them. There's some invisible stuff that's going up that I will eventually make public, or I'm really just trying to diversify a lot of the weapons so that it's easier for everybody to have their own custom equipment. Um, so those kind of things will probably appear through commissions first. So just keep a sharp eye on the commissions and what kind of special gear you can earn from those. So that's not available right now, but that will be coming later. And then for roleplay, yeah, I'm really excited about all the stuff that goes on in Trapeze Island. Um, it's just really fun to see all of the stories that Alan is kind of uh, DMing. Um, and those are great for hooks that I can work with in the future. So I'm definitely running ideas through my head, 100 ideas. Most of them never come to fruition, but um, it's definitely things to think about. The Gordon Depot is exciting for me. That was supposed to be something simple for Alan, and I'd get a few more commanders involved. He is building a team, and so if you're interested in joining some role play in Gordon Depot, seek out Alan and get involved on that team. Since it's going to be a lot bigger than I originally imagined, I have been doing the behind the scenes work to bring that into a really important um, story development piece. So I'm kind of excited what can happen because I've already run through my head the things that could happen, things that are planned to happen in the future, and they could just trigger a lot earlier than I expected. So I have to say, this is going to be one of the first sessions, multi-stage sessions where literally anything can happen. If the players decide to enter in a shootout as the first thing they do, that is possible. So I'm really curious. Like, I'm building all of the things that could happen just because I know what stories are happening there and what stories will be happening there in the future. I'm really excited about what might happen because anything really can. So get involved in that. Lastly, I don't think I got to talk about the Marcus DePalo dinner party before, but I have to say I had a lot of fun with that when Nova decided he would interact with Marcus DePalo firsthand during a dinner party. It was an excellent opportunity to show that he personally does not exaggerate, but his family is truly as ridiculous as he describes them to be, if not more so. So that was a lot of fun. And with that, I think that covers all the stuff for the branch of mind. There could be more, but I'm not sure. It's been a while since I got to do this, so there are definitely things that are happening that I forget to talk about. And so I'll
Sounds
bring
good.
that back to you, Missler.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I want to agree with what you both brought up. The pre-activity is nice to see, even if I'm currently not as involved as I would like to be personally. But it's lovely to see that so much is happening on Trapeze Island, which is also nice to always to see activity in the rented properties. As a follow-up for Site, for Techie, there still is an ongoing hot point, right?
Aha, yeah. The good old hotpoint mission system. If you can remember, it was an experimental state of missions from last year. I decided to bring it back. So every month there's going to be a hotpoint, which site is interested in. Basically, in 90% of the cases, it's going to be a nebula. And this hotpoint will run for 30 days, as long as the month takes, and will reward you with special items. The current one, for example, gives you a site discovery scanner. And because it's the introductory one, I'm giving away the discovery scanner to everyone who takes part. I didn't change that yet, but I want to do it this way. And in the next ones, in the coming ones, the special items will be rewarded to the first person who actually manages to get there, to the target. But I've also thought about, back in the day when we didn't have this commission system. Basically, what I tried to do with these hotpoints, they're basically like the commissions now. So I'm not sure if I should maybe take this system and transform it into a commission, because they're both pretty similar, aren't they?
Probably, except that commissions are usually like things that are financed by one commander, whereas hot points are probably more like missions that everyone can do.
Yeah, that's the difference.
I'm definitely happy to see that there's something going on, and we have had several commanders embarking on this mission, so that's nice to see. The current one is the NGC 281 Nebula, right? So about 8,000 light years of travel. For everyone who is interested in exploration, the hotpoint is still active until the end of the month.
Exactly. And they are not just randomly selected. I actually tried to fill some background information and roleplay in there. So you actually go there because of a specific reason the branch of site wants you to go there, and not just because, hey, I found a random nebula I want people to go to.
For everyone who's interested in potentially going to this hotpoint, what do they have to do there?
Well, the target is simple. Go there, have a look around, scan the planetary bodies, make some nice screenshots. It's like holiday for an explorer. The only thing you have to do is reach it.
All right. One other thing that I'd like to follow up is Kevin mentioned weapon diversification on the diamond market. Can you go into a little bit more details or examples on what you have in mind for that?
Yeah, just
in mind.
more. We just need more of it, Missler. Just more stuff.
Just more stuff.
This is what mind does for you. Now I'm really excited to see that nobody was excited when I introduced myself as Mario, because that proves a point. People don't want Mario; they want the Lord Herald.
That doesn't mean you're popular.
I am very popular,
Uh,
and the reason why I'm popular is because I am giving everybody custom weapons.
no, the reason you're popular is because your image is displayed on every single screen on this planet.
Gotta love it.
Possibly
So,
both.
so yeah. Anyway, as we were saying when we were talking about me, um, yeah, I want to really just create more unique stuff on the market. So that is happening.
Sounds cool. All right.
I've been doing all my research, figuring out what would be cool, what's lore friendly, and then going from there.
I assume you are taking suggestions from players as well.
Yes, if they are good enough, I will take them. I'm always
The
happy
suggestions or the
for
players?
suggestions.
Repeat that, Techie.
If the suggestions are good enough or the players?
Both.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you approach me in a pull via pulse, I will probably agree with you. If you show up in a piece on Pansy, however, I probably would not talk to you.
Yeah, that's
No bullying the pansy.
cyber fridge, nothing more.
Cyberfridge. This might be a good opportunity to bring up also again the opportunity for legacy items that you've announced a while ago, but
That still stands.
that kind of goes hand in hand with weapon diversification and whatnot. So
that really just comes to you having your name on something. That's just an opportunity for you to bring something into our lore that you thought of that's yours, and you want it specific to your character. So it is actually not the same thing as what I'm trying to do, but that offer still stands. If you're active in the role play and you want to do something with a custom item, you can talk to me, and I will create one legacy item.
very nice. All right, I think that is a good time to lead over into our prismatic discussion section.
Prismatic discussion. Prismatic discussion.
Well,
Prismatic discussion.
well.
And we have one thing coming right in live now. The Pansy Appreciation Society demands the Lord Heraldio to apologize for the insult against the Ultimate Car. So what does the Lord Herald say in defense?
I designed the piece on Pansy.
Wait
I
a moment.
created it.
Where's that?
You should have more respect for your masterpiece then.
The Pansy is the greatest vehicle that ever existed.
The Pansy Appreciation Society is growing every day.
And it has already become kind of a roleplay meme, hasn't it?
It sure has. Unbelievable.
I want to get two. I still want to get two. I want to have one on each foot.
Yeah,
don't really know
I
who
think you
started.
guys are underestimating the size of the piece on Pansy.
I think you're underestimating the size of Sinkarma.
Oh, what?
Have you read how big my character is?
Yes.
Hmm.
She's
Oh, is
big,
this
not
some
fat.
detail I missed?
She's big. 2.3 meters tall.
That is big.
How big is that?
Oh, don't ask me to translate that into Imperial. No idea.
In Americans, 6 point something bed Budweisers?
Opens the feed to meters converter.
That would be 7.5 feet.
Good grief.
Yeah, 7.5 feet, yeah.
It's a scary, tall woman covered in spikes, no doubt, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I want to later on cover spikes and then drive around in a pansy that's also got spikes.
Oh my goodness.
With my
I'm just
plasma
wondering
cannon
what the
that's got
next thing is
spikes.
that I designed that your character's just
And
going
a
to fall in
shield
love
that's got to have spikes.
with.
What is a spiked
I- I-
pansy?
I
Is
think-
it
I think
pansy
you-
or?
Ooh. I sense a rift in the Pansy Appreciation Society coming up.
I'm
Where's
gonna
the
put like
lecture?
dozer blades on the pansy so I can like scoop people up.
You really need a spike launcher instead of any other weapon.
Yeah, a fletchette shotgun.
Well, anyway, since it was mentioned before, I wanted to ask how you guys feel about the commissions that are on the market right now, and is there something that you'd like to see? As in, any ideas you have on improvement or something like that?
No comment from me. I'm still trying to find out a comment.
How about not just a lottery for diamonds, but a lottery for these mission items?
Well, almost all of the commissions offer mission items as rewards.
So technically, it is a
lot
lottery
of
for items.
The only thing I would say, I'd really love to see more commissions that have some kind of activity in game. Even if it is, say, sending materials to Weaver Vision and Kubeo. I just think it's a great opportunity. Not every commission, obviously, and it certainly shouldn't absolutely dictate the outcome. But something like that. Explore Kubeo or. It's
Take a
good.
selfie next to Kubio.
Yeah.
Find Kubio 6.
I think the hardest thing with that is just the maintenance that's involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, it kind of defeats the purpose of the mission boards. Because the mission boards are already there to provide you with in-game stuff to do. And the commissions are here really just to make, as far as I think, they're here to just make getting items more fun. It provides you an opportunity to do something with your diamonds other than just buy stuff that you're just going to keep in your inventory. This actually adds some element of uncertainty and story that isn't necessarily fully RP based.
Right. I think the same. I basically describe them as kind of side quests, just like side quests.
They're investment opportunities.
You can like a mix between side quest and investment opportunity. You can just take some little opportunity there for a side story, and either you're not very interested in RP and you just take the commission and wait for what the result of it is, or you actually get active and do things like roleplay to try to increase your odds on this one. That's pretty much up to you, but it's a side opportunity that can have an integration into roleplay, but it's not like supposed to be its major big arc or anything, even if it can. We've also seen commissions tie into that as well. So I wouldn't use them as a substitute for mission boards, of course, anyway. Nevertheless, I think this is a fair point. Like we've had the CZ commission for Vigor objectives. We've seen that before, and that was like the first experiment, both to experiment with commissions that integrate with the Vigor mission board, but also to originally showcase the new reward system. But I certainly have ideas to expand on that and have a bigger catalog of Vigor-related commissions that I can shift in that kind of complement the Vigor mission board with things to do in game. So that's definitely feedback, and I would like to pick up on that.
I also want to include some of my side missions as commissions, because these mission items, especially the scientific ones you can earn, are actually, I guess, in the lore, almost one and the same you get when you scan or you land on planets, for example. I mean, we have site-specific vehicles. You could use them to actually, in roleplay, land on planets and get these mission items.
That sounds cool as well.
One of the good purposes of commissions here is also it gives you a story for why your RP character is becoming a famous and popular person. Because, okay, we have the mission boards and everything, and these also affect your reputation. But this gives you a story of why your reputation is known. Like, for example, if you take the corporate opportunity, you have funded something that some company needed, and they have good things to say about you. And also, it's written about in the news. It's a part of the story and the lore of the world in a way that then enhances the idea of you becoming well known, why people can recognize you in the street, or why other commanders and members of the Prismatic Imperium know your name even if they've never met you.
Mhm.
It's kind of
And
what reputation is for. What?
There's one thing you don't know yet about reputation.
Okay.
You are an absolute nobody in the Prismatic Imperium, as long as you don't have your own plushie.
That is very
What?
true. But you will never get a plushie unless you become very reputable.
Damn, I am a nobody now.
There isn't a single plushie of the Lord Herald, but there's one of
Well,
me.
I will get
There's
right
one of
on that.
Karma. There's one of the Chancellor.
There's
Oh, Lord
one
Harold is also a nobody.
Yeah,
there's
I
a
will
huge
fix
problem.
that.
Oh no!
Plushies require that you have a catchphrase. So unless you have a catchphrase, no plushie.
Look at this. We were just talking about plushies of the Chancellor, and now he's here.
We've
My
covered him.
catchphrase is "You've been dismissed, Tekaron."
No, don't bring that on the market. It's not.
We need
I
an
don't really-
Isaac
I don't really have a
plushie.
good catchphrase though.
Chancellor, we are currently talking about the fact that
What
if
did
you
you say,
don't
Adam?
have a plushie, you're not no one in the PI. Is that true?
Wait, maybe. I don't judge.
What did you say,
Chance-
Otto? Who doesn't have a catchphrase?
I don't really have a good catchphrase.
What do you mean? Your plushie is on the market. Your phrase is the most famous one. Tax audit. It's
Yeah,
in
but
your
like I don't
contract.
actually run around saying tax audit.
Doesn't matter. It's a phrase known for you.
What?
Everyone knows about Otto's audits. Everyone knows about Biacanar. You know,
That's the most.
The karma always
That's a
wins.
popular.
I have a good plan for this. I'll start yelling tax audit more.
If you do that, you become a
usually kind of
federal.
like a greeting.
Good audit day to you.
Welcome, Chancellor, to the Prismatic Congress.
Hello.
Hello.
I like a good intro. Thanks.
We're currently talking about commissions in general and ideas people have for how they could be used more.
I have an idea for a possible commission concept for you.
I've
Getting
already
a second
submitted.
Dave.
I've already sent my my idea for a commission to Kevin and written a bit on it. I don't know how far it is or not, but I'm waiting patiently.
That's an important thing to point out too. Any player who wants to can also commission a commission of their own. You provide what you want to be done with it, and you provide the rewards for it. And maybe someone will take your commission and do what you want.
Yeah, no, I've talked to Kevin, but at the end of the day, I have the item that already, but I'm going to be keeping the item. It's a question of whether there's going to be more made of it. So if someone else is interested, then they can take the commission.
Yeah, I mean that depends entirely on your background and how you write it. Anything's possible as long as you have a reason for it, I guess. And you talk to Kevin. But yeah,
I wouldn't say everything is possible, but
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Let's quickly, quickly grab 2 mongooses and strap them together. We're making a spider bot.
Everything is possible if you pay me enough.
commission,
Spider
pay
bot.
50,000 diamonds to be chancellor for an hour.
It's like a tourist attraction. They like give you a little rocking horse to sit there and a little office chair.
How much money did you say? And can you give me enough time to reverse engineer the pain morph projector?
Let me do a quick diamond check to see how much money you have, because it's that much.
Oh, that's cheap then. I'm okay
probably-
with that.
Probably 1 diamond more than you actually have. How much it
Oh,
costs.
no problem. I'll give you 3,000 diamonds.
Oh, wow, man, make some money. Jeez.
Quickly invest everything.
Wow.
I'm currently sitting on a lot of money in items and stuff that I'm waiting to sell or use for commissions. So
Fair.
I'm worse off than I am. Because somebody doesn't want to put the prices of melee weapons back to normal.
So that's who purchased all the melee weapons.
I didn't
Oh,
purchase
wow,
all-
Dan has a lot of those. I'm just going to forget about it for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. That sums that up. That's usually how the diamond market goes. We just look to see. Anyone who's updating it just looks at everyone's inventory and is like, I see Tekron plans on making a lot of money this week. How about not?
Kevin,
Praise on that.
I have a question for you, Kevin.
Uh-oh.
So, I can't pronounce your names, but the filter leeches. So it says that they are disposable items. So if you use that filter leech once, does it die afterwards?
Yeah. It
That's
completely
horrible.
just explodes. It's
Uh-huh.
absolutely disgusting.
A bloody
Brutal.
paste.
Yeah.
Does it
The
explode?
moment you use it, like, it's undeniable. It pops.
But isn't that
It makes the scream sound too.
What you do is you
Isn't
put
that
it on
an
your arm, clean your arm,
ethical
and you
dilemma
throw
then?
it at the enemy quickly before it explodes.
That doesn't bother you, does it, Tekeron?
It
I
does
wouldn't
bother
think
me.
it would.
It does bother me that I know that living beings are being sold on the markets. So you
Why
just
does
let
that
them
bother
suck
you?
whatever body part of yours you want, and then they die.
That's what your slaves do, isn't it?
Excuse me, by Arcana. Are you crazy?
I love how it has become your slaves.
You'll hear from the branch of sight because this is an insult to life.
The rest of us have the wherewithal to call them interns.
This is a horrible way of using life to. Oh wait, I have 2 of them in my inventory.
Whoops.
Uh,
Might want to get rid of those. Or
uh,
somebody screenshots it.
Just sitting in your inventory, huh? Just
You got any trumbles too?
no. Fortunately.
I heard they're really good for science experiments.
Don't you dare. I'm going to sue you.
I remember I wanted to add some kind of tracker how many items are currently spread out through all the commander profiles on our
That'd
side,
be really nice.
so that you can see, for example, how many trumbles are around, or that might also be interesting for managing stocks. Like if something is out of stock,
Hmm.
is it legit out of stock and there is a lack of items, or is it because some commander hoards thousands of everything? So
I'd also like to know that.
unfortunately we can't see that
for-
right now, but something that I noted down a while ago to add for at least the admin interface.
Sounds like
It would
we
be
need to
really
make
useful
more
for
IT.
commission generation to know who has what.
Yep.
yeah, like who has the Kingslayer sword right now? I want that thing.
Didn't Gene have that?
Really? I don't know.
I'm checking.
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not too curious, but
No, he doesn't.
I'm curious.
Oh, by the way,
Or was it wrong?
I think Ramirez has it.
Yeah, possibly.
I think Ramirez has all the swords.
do you remember the one time I talked about that idea of mine concerning a possible fleet carrier network in the Prismatic Imperium?
Nope.
The commanders offer their fleet carriers for PI services, like for background simulation, system positioning, or exploration trips, and so on.
You're doing a perfect bridge to the to the next topic there with fleet carriers.
Yeah, so
You've also been active on the second beta, right? So I have to confess that I haven't really followed news too much about that. Any new insights from you?
well, I have to say almost everything works in proper order. These decreased jump timers are quite okay.
Mhm.
There are some new bugs I've noticed. For example, the audio isn't really accurate anymore, unfortunately, so the horn doesn't go up when it needs to, or that interesting robotic voice speaker makes some errors. It's just small stuff. I hope they fix it. And universal graphics is also fine. It's nothing visually impressing, but it's just another service for the carrier, and it's fine. No livery options so far, but unfortunately it doesn't crash anymore when I jump around.
Yeah, no, personally, I would also mention that the Fleet Carrier Betas 2 is looking really nice, and I really, really, really hope it goes to live.
So, the question I had before leading in with that long sentence of mine was, if we decide to create that fleet carrier support network inside the PI, do you think, or does anyone think here, he is able to maybe create something like a bot that can couple himself to the timer of the fleet carrier before he jumps and announces that in the channel?
That
I'm not
Like-
probably
Like for
the
example,
technical.
if you're in game and you schedule a jump to another system, and as soon as you schedule that, a bot in the appropriate channel will say, this fleet carrier owned by Commander will jump in 15 minutes.
The technical side of that probably depends on some like journal access levels and whatnot we have available. You will probably have to run like a program that runs alongside while you
do
play
think
the
there
game,
is-
like ADMC or something. In theory, that can be done, but the details will depend on what exactly we have available. So it's
Okay.
hard to answer that yet.
If I could say something, I do believe there is a journal entry for when a fleet carrier jumps that has been added recently in the beta 2.
They made some journal changes that was in the patch notes, right?
Yeah. So there should be a journal. It's just a case of reading that journal entry then.
Exactly. And the easiest way would be to have some program running alongside.
Okay, I see.
Or what I was planning to doing is just personally just typing in whenever my carrier moves and where it moves.
That
Yeah,
It's
is
just a more tedious
possibly the
version of
easiest way, yes.
For me,
without
it
having
would
to write a
be
program.
kind of a handy thing to have a bot posting that, and an
Yeah.
own channel for this.
yeah, it requires too much
then-
coding.
Getting everyone who has a fleet carrier and is part of the PI support network an own tag, fleet carrier owner.
Maybe also some sort of thing where we can bookmark where each person's fleet carrier is from the Prismatic Imperium in some way, which is why I recommended making a specific channel for fleet carrier control.
Yeah, that's what
where we
I'd
can
like
type
to
where
have.
but we always just make sure a good habit to delete the previous location where we are. So if someone's scrolling through the list of where the fleet carriers are, they can easily find out where what is.
whatever we're going to do, we'll definitely need an on channel for that.
Yeah, the fleet carrier control tower.
Sounds like bot spam channel to me.
No, don't worry.
Fleet
For
carrier
example,
control tower.
if we
Can
have
be in charge of the flight control there.
if we use a fleet carrier in a BGS system with only M-pads, it will be a great increase, and therefore the people from Vigor definitely need an eye for this channel where the fleet carrier owner actually posts that stuff, what's going on there and so on.
Right. Otherwise, I think fleet carrier feedback so far in the second beta has been pretty positive. Look, I think all the major concerns from the initial beta have been addressed. Too bad that there's still no livery options.
I can't
That would be still very interesting.
I can't await delivery options. I want them
Yeah.
all.
I want a purple carrier.
I want an
Gold
Imperial
trimming.
carrier, white blue.
I'm really interested in to what degree we can even expect livery options. Like, will it only be different color skins for the existing model, or are
Seen
we
different
really
models.
Haven't
talking?
you seen the one that are already in game?
Yeah, they've already been showing it off. If you go to different systems where you can buy them, they all look different. So
In those shipyard construction facilities or whatever they call them, right?
yep.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
dry
but,
docks.
I'm still really interested in having the whole overview of what there will be available.
Yeah.
Well, you do know when the next anniversary comes around, there's going to be a gold fleet carrier skin.
Please no.
Yes,
It's too
you
much.
know it's going to happen. And there's going to
Yes.
be a whole lot of carriers in gold pumping it around.
I just hope they price it reasonably.
Oh no, they'll probably put it like $200 for the gold skin for the fleet carrier, and people will buy it. They'll break the internet. They'll break the banks.
I doubt it.
You don't need asteroids when you can mine a fleet carrier.
Some guy have to have like, ooh, I'm going whale hunting. How many can we get?
how many whales can we catch of this gold skin? Load the harpoons, boys. It's anniversary time. Everyone's getting bonuses. Oh my god. What are we doing with our lives?
How many carriers do we expect to have in our group once they go live?
Well,
6 maybe?
mine will be out mining and out on mining trips.
Yeah, I'd also say around 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the ones who actually perform PI support.
You know, it's me, Sin, Tech.
Ramirez.
I will gladly help anyone who needs tritium and stuff or anything really. I'll even
Yeah,
donate
please.
money, but I don't intend to have one.
Rivar.
What is the current price for tritium? And did they adjust that as well, or is it still?
Tritium is
40,000.
quite expensive. 40,000
Okay.
a pop, if I remember correctly, off
Okay.
the top of my head. But
Yeah, I think that was the same always though.
it's like 7 million credits to get from Earth to Sagittarius A.
Oh, that's a nice comparison.
That's pretty cheap.
Yep.
It does take quite a bit of time to load that. Or was it 70 million? I can't remember now. It was 7 million or 70 million. I'll have to rewatch that video.
That
guy
is
that
quite a
did it.
difference.
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
it was a
70
bit more.
The 70 million is still not that much.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap to get a whole carrier all the way to the center of the galaxy.
Took like 17 hours though or something.
Yeah. It was a whole bunch of jumping and
I
also
can't believe
loading
people
of the
did
thing.
that.
I'm still because I noticed there was a bit of a topic going around on the forums because I visited the forums. Someone's Anaconda was stolen on the beta server because they basically landed on the carrier, bought a different ship. The Anaconda went into the storage of the ship. the carrier flew away, and the guy disabled his
Shipyard.
carrier function for the shipyard, and now he can't get his anaconda back, and he doesn't want to spend the money to transfer it off. No, he wants it back now. But the carrier is constantly every day getting further and further away with his anaconda, and he has to get it back.
Pirating next level.
That's hilarious.
I knew this was going to happen. People are going to be like hijacking people, figuratively.
It's a trap.
Make your carrier, call your carrier Asing Duval, and you see everyone load up onto it, and then you just quickly fly it into a black hole.
Oh, by the way, is there someone here in this channel who hasn't seen a carrier jumping yet?
Yeah, I've actually posted a video of it as well. I don't know how many people have watched it.
I saw it
Because
live.
I'm going to do one last jump today after the Congress.
You do a little live view. Yeah, sure. I'm up for
Alright.
that.
Last Congress, at the end, I also referenced that the Anti-Xeno Initiative was doing another survey about fleet carriers. The results of which have been posted, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But since we haven't had the Congress in a while, I will also put the link to that survey in the description. If you are interested in seeing all the numbers and graphs, there's a whole lot of them, of what people think about carriers and what they expect from carriers, that you can all look up in that link. So I'll add that to the description.
Yeah, no.
I am almost done with a map for Gordon Depot, which is what I've been
Hooray!
working
For the roleplay mission?
on.
No.
Figured you guys deserved it.
Oh, how kind.
It's actually really difficult to populate it, though, because it is significantly larger than any other map I've done so far.
Is it the map for the entire settlement?
No, just the different areas that I know are important for. Gordon Depot is a place that will be visited in the simulation story. So I have been planning it all along. I might as well start making it now.
Talking about the simulation story, what is the news on chapter 4?
Coming finishing very soon, because I have just been reworking the story because of the new NPC system that you have. That has changed things. So that's basically what I'm working on.
Exciting.
I double checked that number for the cost of the tritium to get to Sagittarius A. I'm unsure if it was 570 or 517, but it was that much million.
Oh, that's quite a difference.
Yeah. It's about $500 million to get out there ish. The guy didn't use all of his fuel, but he had like 17,000 tons on board or something.
Somebody senses his docking clearance through voice.
I am being attacked.
Oh, you're being attacked. Okay.
By a certain commanders in Karma.
Well, I logged in and you were in at the same time, so I thought I'd quickly give you a little love tap.
I seriously thought I was accidentally an open and someone attacked me flying out of Shinrarda.
No, it's just some asshole. Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm flying to Namehi to do the recon.
Because after all, this is for the Elite Dangerous game, so we might as well add a bit of gameplay to this podcast.
That is true.
Why did you go there before I gave you the thing?
Because Kevin said that he doesn't want to actually RP the thing, just wants some screenshots from the location and and for me to actually be in the system.
Okay.
And that's going to be enough. But I will gladly use that in the mission.
I thought you were going there like solo already. I'm like, wow, it's
I don't know, but
some dedication.
I'm gonna take some screenshots now.
I'm actually really excited to see that the porn. The
what?
I'm excited to see the morph projector get used.
Censoring detected.
I'm excited to see the porn too.
Censoring detected.
I dismiss that.
Kevin, though, the Pain Morph Projector was supposed to be used in a solo recon mission before the actual mission. So
Yeah, you can still do that. I would just appreciate some screenshots. All I said is that I'm not going to be DMing too much before the mission stuff. I'll let you guys do whatever you want to do with that. I'm just really focused on building up the environment and stuff beforehand.
Yeah, that works. If you have time, we can try and do an actual recon mission, and then I'll ask Otto to lend me the item.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see. I don't want to put too much stress on you. By the way, are we finishing the Congress, or
is there anything else somebody would like to bring up before we close? Otherwise, we can close the show for today.
Nothing on my side, unless we want to talk more about fleet carriers.
No, I'm good.
Well, the beta is still running for more than a week, and there will be the set blowout. Do you happen to know when that will start, or is it already active?
I'm not sure. I think it's probably going to start next week.
Nothing so far.
I think they said towards the end of the beta, but I don't. I'm not aware of any date that they mentioned. So
no, they mentioned no date
this
layout. I actually looked at it. The beta ends next week Tuesday, but they didn't say anything for the blowout. Probably we'll do the blowout on Friday, maybe.
Possibly, at least for everyone who does not have the credits for a fleet carrier but really wants to give it a try. Keep your eyes on the beta. You will get it for very, very cheap very soon. So yeah. And then once that beta's over, we will probably get an announcement on if there are any follow-up changes based on beta 2 and when there will finally be that release day and fleet carriers will make it to the live servers. Based on which we can also then again discuss how we want to handle our own like Prismatic Imperium fleet carrier network, or at least fleet carrier communications and everything that relates to that. So this will be interesting.
Indeed.
Of course, for everyone in our group, if you have ideas with that and you intend to buy your own fleet carrier, then shoot a note. Everyone is free to participate in these discussions and come up with ideas on what to do there. All right. And with that, let us close the show for today. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks to everyone who listens to it afterwards. And we will see everyone with the next Congress. Bye-bye until then.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.